What are we doing, babe?
We're going to get your body scan. ID? That's right.
You want to try to say that again?
Come on, that ID. Does that sound right? Okay, go for it.
Got my socks.
Sheila would be proud.
Oh, Sheila.
Okay, so Fitbit, or watch, sorry. Yes.
Rings off?
No, rings are fine.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so you're gonna lay on your back with your head in that direction. Use a white line to center yourself best you can. I'll adjust you if I need to. Okay, move down toward me just a little bit, please. Okay, good. That's good. Okay, body is situated well. And you stick your palms on your elbows and bring them up flat against your side. Okay, good.
Sounds like we're making a copy. Like an old copy machine?
Am I in the way?
No.
Okay.
Sounds like an old copy machine.
So compare this to like, what is it, the water scan?
Yeah. So hydrostatic is considered the next most accurate way of measuring body composition.
Okay.
But it has the opposite advantage of you need a pretty big pool,
Yeah.
and there's not that many places you can go and actually do it. It's usually a research center or a university or something like that. So availability is much less with a hydrostatic. Plus, you got to take your clothes off, and it's a whole process.
Yeah.
With this one, as you saw, all you got to do is take your shoes off, anything metal on your wrists and stuff. It's also a little more accurate. It's a little more accurate. Now, on the other end of the scale are stuff like the scale you stand on,
Yeah.
or the handheld, and those are complete garbage. There isn't even an ounce of science to them at all.
Okay.
And those, they're used by gyms. Usually when a person comes in there and you remember, like, hey, let's measure your body fat for you, and they're so wildly inaccurate.
Yeah.
Because I get people coming here all the time, and when they say they've done one of those, I really say, okay, what was your last result?
Yeah.
And I've seen it vary by 13%.
Good grief.
Yeah. And even people who have them will admit that week to week, the results are wildly different, even when they do them at home, which kind of, sort of confirms what I just said. Like, it's impossible physiologically to gain, 3-4% body fat in a week.
Yeah.
It's just impossible.
Yeah.
And if it's varying that much, it tells you that what you have is
a piece of shit.
Yeah, basically, yes, exactly. Thank you for verbalizing for me.
Nervous?
Nobody wants to be told how fat they are.
Well, I mean, anyone who's going through this will be told exactly how fat they are.
You do not qualify yet. You're not even close to that three-letter word. So you're at 18.6% body fat, which is really good. That's why I kind of press on people so much that, lean muscle, preserving it, it's so precious.
Yeah.
At the very minimum, you've got to maintain it, hopefully increase it as the fat goes down, and that really kickstart this into moving down. Your next page is your bone density page. Bone density is obviously a sign of bone strength. Your result for the whole body is 1.280. To put that in perspective, for females, bone density is measured anywhere on a scale between -3 and 1.5. -3 would be somebody with severely brittle bones, osteoporosis. 1.5 is as high as this thing measures. And anything 0 and above, so 0 would be here on the graph, and above is considered a good result. The closer to 1.5, the better. And you're about 3/4 of the way to the best possible result. So that's really good. Short term, what that means is it puts you at a decreased risk for a stress fracture or any kind of bone-related injury from strenuous exercise. Long term, if you maintain that, it decreases your risk of developing osteoporosis. And the number one factor that impacts this, even into your 80s in terms of age, is strength training. That you can maintain that, even increase that indefinitely. And it's not matter if I drink milk, will that help my bones? I'm like, maybe when you were 14, but not anymore. Okay, lean mass balance compares the lean muscle mass between your right and left sides, just to make sure there's relative symmetry. And I say relative because most people are off by a little bit, which is very normal. And we're not looking for off by a little bit, we're looking for off by a lot, which is usually the result of an injury.
Okay.
And your body's protecting one side or favoring one side over the other. And it compares your lean muscle mass between your right and left in 3 areas: in your arms, in your legs, and your trunk. Your trunk is going to be your upper body minus your arms and abs, so chest, back, and shoulders together.
Okay.
And it's telling us actually you're one of those rare people that you're perfectly symmetrical both in your arms and legs. They have the same amount of lean muscle
No way.
on both sides.
That's awesome.
That's really good. And your trunk is off by 2.2 pounds. So your left chest, back, and shoulders has 2.2 pounds more lean muscle than your right chest, back, and shoulders.
I wonder why. Mavi, I have a
Oh,
2-year-old
yeah.
and I carry
That's
him on my left side.
exactly. Yeah. And that's something incremental that's happened over many months, possibly years.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you carry a child in one arm, it's definitely going to strengthen it. Now, even if it's even that 2.2 pounds, that's nothing you could see in the mirror. Nor if, let's say, you're competing, a judge could not be able to tell you have 2.2 pounds. And it's not even considered the baseline of significance, because the baseline of where significance starts is 2.5 pounds for the trunk. So you're still short of what's considered the baseline of significance for symmetry. Your fat distribution page takes your overall number of 18.6 and breaks it down into region to see where your body stores the most of the least fat. And for the most part, these regions are all genetically predetermined, except for one area, which is the android, which is the abs, down on your hips. And this is largely diet related.
Yeah.
So you range anywhere from a low of 15.3 in the abs, which is, it's always good that your lowest region is your abs.
Yeah.
Because abs are the only region that has visceral fat in them, which is the deep body fat that has possible health repercussions if you carry a lot of it for a long period of time. And the fact that the region where you store the lowest fat is your abs is great. And your high is in your hips at 23.1. This is your trend page. So if you come back and scan again, it's going to show us a trend between this time and next time.
Okay.
This is used by people to track their progress of whatever exercise program or diet they're on, because instead of a scale which just tells you how much weight you've lost, this is going to tell you, have you lost the right type of weight?
Yeah.
Have you preserved that lean mass that we talked about earlier? And so obviously for people who are, on a training program or a diet, we want them to come back and see a decrease in their fat pounds and hopefully an increase in their lean pounds, or at the bare minimum, maintaining their lean pounds. What we don't want to see is their lean pounds drop. And most of the time, the reason for that happening is they've cut their calories too deep.
Yeah.
And they think that, a lot of people, because I also do nutrition consulting, a lot of my time is spent convincing people to up their calorie intake. And people just don't, like, why? I'm going to gain weight. I'm like, no, not if you consume the right amount of calories in the right way. You're actually you're slowing your metabolism down by consuming less calories than your body needs just to even function, for your organs to function. And that's one sign of it, is losing lean mass. Because what happens when your body goes into starvation mode, which is usually below, so when you do the resting metabolic rate test, one result it gives you is what's called your resting energy expenditure, which is how many calories your body needs just to function, just for your organs to function, at its very basic level. If you drop below that, that's when your body goes into starvation mode. Now, when it goes into starvation mode, most people think, hey, that's great, it'll tap into my fat. It doesn't tap into your fat. When it goes into starvation mode, it needs the fat to regulate your body temperature and protect your organs. So it backs off from the fat and turns to the next source of internal energy, which are the amino acids in your muscles, and cannibalizes, and that's why you start losing lean muscle mass. So that's why it's really important not to cut your calories too deep, but it's a hard time convincing people to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, and then here is your visceral adipose tissue result, which is another term for deep abdominal fat, or organ fat. So this is the fat that you can't see in the mirror, nor can you pinch it, because it's deep inside your abdominal cavity, behind your abdominal muscle wall. And it surrounds or sticks to your vital organs. And the number you want to have this at, it's measured in pounds, and you want to have it at 1 pound or less. You're at 0.06, so you literally have none there. There's nothing there. And this is the particular type of fat, this adipose tissue, that has the health repercussions because of its proximity to vital organs.
Yeah.
Okay?
What's up, guys? So I just finished doing my body fat test, Dexa scan with Composition ID in Arlington, and it was actually really informative. They go over your total body fat, obviously, but they also go like super in depth, like your total lean tissue, your how much your bones weigh. They go into visceral fat. Yeah, so it turns out that, as you can see from the video, I was 18.6% body fat, which is actually a lot lower than I expected. I was thinking more along the lines of like 20 to 22, 23%, which also means that it's probably a good idea to reassess my goal with RP. Originally, I was thinking I had 12 to 15 pounds of fat to give, but now that I'm looking at it, it's just not realistic. That would kind of take me a lot lower than I'm comfortable going, and I really don't want to be that miserable for 10 to 12 weeks. So instead of my 12 to 15 pound goal loss, I'm probably going to cut it back to like 5, maybe 7 pounds, and even that's going to be really hard. Already being at 18%, that'll probably get me closer to 15, which I don't know, being that lean when I'm not in competition mode just really isn't a goal of mine. I kind of just want to be healthy, and the fact that there is hardly any fat around my vital organs, pretty much right in there. So I guess anything that I lose is more so for vanity's sake, and I don't know if I care that much. Yeah, but it was really informative, a lot of good information. I'm actually going back on Friday to do my basal metabolic rate. So that's so basically what I need to survive as a human in calories. Yeah, so I go back Friday for that. Super curious to see what that number is. If you if you're in the Northern Virginia, DC area, head to Composition ID in Arlington. You can look them up on their website. I'll drop the link below. And yeah, go book your body fat testing and let him know I sent you, and he will give you 20% off. Simple as that. And if you have any questions or comments, drop them below, subscribe, like, and I will talk to you soon.